In the context of integrating the human rights of women throughout the United Nations system, we wish to draw attention to 4 examples of widespread violence against women that we believe merits far greater attention from the Council. 1, regarding FGM, we are making available our detailed written statement.
Mr. President, I have a copy of this statement. It is identical to the one made in December, to which I made 5 points of order, and to which you ruled that you warned the Speaker in December that this will be the last warning. In the first paragraph, you talk about Al-Azhar and Egypt and the Sharia law. In the second paragraph, you talk about Sudan, Pakistan, and the Sharia law. The third and fourth paragraphs are on the Sharia law. So I don't know what is the point of making him continue his statement while we know that will be objected, and while we know that the President made a ruling on the same statement in December. If we have no time to come with something new, then we shouldn't speak. Thank you.
Pakistan, you have the floor.
The voices which we hear in this council, and the issues they raise are not unfamiliar. There is an agenda behind it, and you have already given a ruling on the discussion of Sharia law in this council. We have strong objections on any discussion, any direct or indirect discussion, any out of context selective discussion on the Sharia law in this council. I would therefore request the President to exercise his judgment and authority, and request the Speaker not to touch the issues which have already been debarred from discussion in this council. Thank you very much.
Distinguished representative of Slovenia.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would remind both colleagues from Egypt and from Pakistan, this is a separate council session. Any NGO representative has a right to make a statement within the merits of the agenda item under discussion. We see the statement being made pertaining within the purview of the agenda item, and we don't see grounds for any restricting censorship in that respect. I thank you, Mr. President.
Distinguished President of Egypt.
Mr. President, through you, sir, I would like to humbly and kindly ask my colleague from Slovenia to reconsider. What we are talking now about is not about the right of NGOs to speak. It is about the Sharia law and whether it is admissible to discuss it in this council. I appeal to my colleague from Slovenia not to accept any discussion on the Sharia law in this council, because it will not happen. And we will not take this lightly. This is not about NGOs' participation in the council. The speaker before that one spoke as freely as they want on sexual orientation, gays and lesbians. Yes, because they see it under the VDPA, and they have been touching on the VDPA. Nobody objected. Now this is not about the NGOs and their participation in the council. This is about the Sharia law. So I appeal to our colleagues not to get us there, because we will stay there, and it's good omen that we have these beautiful machines with us here, because we will need them. Thank you.
Very respectfully, I would like to state again that this is not the forum to discuss religious sensitivities. It will amount to spreading hatred against certain members of the council. It has happened before also that selective issues were raised in the council to demonize a particular group. So we would again request you to please use your authority to bar any such discussion again in the council. Thank you very much.
I think that we are going downwards on quite a slippery slope here. Personally, I see 2 issues. One is whether we should or not discuss religious issue in a debate under the Vienna Declaration. 2, whether we shall exercise a sort of preemptive move against statements that may be or may not be heard in this room. Canada.
We are having a general debate on the Vienna Declaration and Programme of Action. The issues that are being raised here fall entirely within the scope of the Vienna Declaration and Programme of Action. They concern rights. We consider it entirely appropriate that the NGO in question be permitted to continue. If we were, all of us, to not repeat anything that we had said before in a council session, the sessions would be an awful lot shorter than they actually are. Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. President, I am not speculating. I have a copy of the statement. I have listened carefully to the first paragraph. I did not interrupt until it was clear that this is the copy I have in my hand. I am telling my colleagues from Canada and Slovenia, so that everybody will bear the consequences, that this statement is about the Sharia law. I don't want anybody to say that they didn't know in advance. I have a copy here. Whoever doesn't believe me, they can take a look at the statement. This statement will not be read in this council without a vote. Thank you.
I will very kindly suggest that we sort of take a break and come back in 5 minutes.